So let's talk about the stupid thoughts between your ears. Real estate agents might be one of the biggest to be self deprecating, to be their own worst enemy. And a lot of times that's because we're kind of stuck in our house doing our own thing. For an awful lot of real estate agents, they work from home, they're not associating with other people, and you start to believe your own bullshit. Welcome to today's morning meeting. I'm Greg Luther, the one guy that meets with you every day to help you in growing your real estate business, soon to be meeting with you every week to help you in growing your business. And I wanted to talk a little bit today about the silly thoughts that I hear from real estate agents all the time, the bullshit they tell themselves that's keeping them from making money. As you know, my sole purpose is to give you the tools, the resources, the mindset that you need, the scripts, the dialogues to help you in making a lot more money. But for so many agents, they are their own worst enemy. And I know you know what I'm talking about. You're going to believe your own bullshit. I'll give you an example. You remember back when you were younger, you used to date around a little bit and you were in a relationship for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever. You finally left that person. And after about a year, you were like, what in the hell was I thinking? I don't even know why I thought that made sense because you were living in the moment. This was your norm. You continued doing it the same way. But once you realize there was such a better life, you're like, I literally lost X amount of time of my life messing with that thing, hoping that it would get better. Well, the same is true in your real estate business. Everything that you do is creating mindsets, thoughts. You're like, let's say you were cussed out by a for sale by owner 3 years ago. Now, all of a sudden, you think all for sale by owners are going to be mean to you. That is going to sabotage your success. Probably cost you at least 100 grand a year, maybe 120 grand a year, because you're not going big with that individual niche. Let's take divorce filings. Maybe you had a listing 5 years ago. The divorce was really nasty and she showed up to closing and have his girlfriend sign that damn thing. I'm not signing the paper. You had drama happen. So now you think all divorces are bad. Reason I'm thinking of this is I got a couple comments on Facebook this morning. We were talking about cash investors and how profitable they are. I had a couple comments there. I don't work with investors. They always want a discount. I'm like, what kind of ignorant first of all, it doesn't make sense because the majority of properties in most areas are going to cash investors now, like literally over 40% in the snow belt. It's not majority but damn near, right? But in the and not the snow belt, the sun belt, Georgia, Florida, Texas, California, a lot of those warm areas, cash investors are buying up like crazy. And the problem you've got is they're outbidding the buyers. Like if you have a buyer and you offer over asking price, they're like, nope, sorry, we got a bigger offer from a cash investor. So in what mind do you think they want a discount? I believe you were in a shitty relationship with a fake investor that thought he was going to get a deal under market and fix it up and flip it and make 100,000 and they get it in contract and then beat up the price and, oh, we need a new roof. I need another $10,000 off. I think you were dealing with a wannabe. I don't think you were dealing with the type of investor we're talking about. Cash investors we're talking about, they're holding on to this asset for decades, right? They're holding this property for 10, 20, 30 years. They don't need to get it at a discount. They're okay paying 10,000 over. It doesn't matter. They're buying it for cash flow. They're not buying it to try to resell it. So I want you to really think about, maybe you've got some bullshit going on in your mind. I did a training class the other day, had an agent comment, well, Greg, it doesn't really work that way in my area. My area is different. I hear it all the time. So many of you know, I actually brought props today. Many of you know that I do blueprint days here at the house. I'll have people fly in and spend the full day with me, individual, one-on-one, where we build a blueprint to completely rebuild their business. Usually the first thing I have to do is wash out their brain because it's disgustingly dirty. All of the thoughts that they have about their market, about the way clients work in their area, about what the average commission is in their area. Like, first of all, you're not here because you want to be average. So tell me whatever the average is so we can go a hell of a lot higher than that, right? But we have to go through all that stuff. And it always comes up, Greg, you have to understand, I know you coach all over the country. I know you got 30,000 realtors you've worked with at all different levels, but my area is really unique. It's really different. And every single time I'll say, I thought you were going to say that. I actually framed it for you here today. I knew this would be a conversation that we would have. But Greg, my area is very different. That's every agent that I've ever met says, Greg, my area is very different. So I just wanted to show you that today. I knew you would be saying that. They're like, oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I know. That's hilarious, man. But I know everybody else says that. But really, in my case, really my area is different. I'm sure everybody else does, but in my area, it truly is different. Well, I knew you were going to say that as well. So I had that framed. Well, I know everyone else says that, but my area really is different. That's from every agent after I show them the first quote. Why do you think I had these prepared today? Because you're going to say the same bullshit that everybody else says. The stupid stuff that's between your ears is causing you to, like, as an example, if you can convince yourself that there's a tiger in your backyard, you know it's total bullshit. But as soon as you believe it, no different than you used to run down the hallway in the dark when you were a kid, you will believe your own bullshit and really believe that that's true. Well, the same is true in our own business. The same is true in your relationship. The same is true with everything that we do. Thoughts equal action. Action equals results. So if you have these thoughts that investors are bad, you know, another one I hear all the time is luxury homeowners. Well, I don't want to work with them. They're all assholes and they all want it their own way. And they all already know a whole bunch of realtors. And did you ever decide you weren't going to date girls because she already knows other guys? Oh, she knows a whole bunch of guys. Okay. Because an attorney has lots of other clients, you don't think, well, he already has clients. It means absolutely nothing. So luxury homeowners are one of the best approaches you'll ever have. It's how you build wealth. It's one of the big two, what I call the two niches. It's one of the big two. We'll actually be talking about that Tuesday, November 7th, at the live event. Luxury is huge. You make so much money on a per transaction basis. They're easier to deal with. And frankly, when the hot water tank blows up after the inspection, they don't care. They're like, put a new one in. I don't want to deal with it. It's $800. I'm not going to deal with that. Whereas I've had $400 fees crush a real estate contract. The buyer and seller agent had to split the fee out of their own commission because nobody had $400 to put this deal together. Meanwhile, I did a luxury deal where it needed a new roof after inspection, $33,000. He's like, we'll pay the damn thing. We're going to have to pay it. So just pay it. Literally not a second thought. So what in your mind, what happened in your past that made you think rich people are assholes, they're hard to deal with, they already know other people, they always want to negotiate? Like, when was the last time you saw a discount broker sign in a luxury neighborhood? Come on, what would the neighbors think? Right? But we get this crap going on in our mind. And what I want you to do today, the homework that I want you to think about today is, how can I fix my own mindset on what I believe to be true, that if it weren't true, I would make a lot more money? Another big one, well, it takes money to make money and I got so much debt, I'm just going to have to continue to struggle forever until I die. No, marketing is free. How much money did it cost me to get this video in front of you today? Can you run Facebook Marketplace ads every single day? Can you run ads on Craigslist? Because every single day people are looking on Craigslist. Like, there's so many things you can do, but you might be believing your own bullshit that these are the circumstances that are holding me back. You know how many agents are now freaking out? I can't work with buyers anymore. Nope, can't charge a buyer commission. NAR, they lost the case. First of all, it's halfway done, because every human or business that's ever been proven guilty in history has then filed an appeal, which then gives another year or two of income to the attorneys to continue fighting this stuff. Like, nothing has changed, but now you think you're off the hook, so it's okay to lose. Maybe you got a whole bunch of bullshit between your ears. Maybe that's what we actually need to fix here. So I want you to kind of think through that today, and start thinking about, what are a couple of the beliefs I have that are holding me back? Is it my own money, my own experience in real estate? How long I've been doing it, a previous experience that I had with a certain niche of people, whether it be a divorce, a luxury deal, a pre-foreclosure, estate sale, whatever the case is. Are those beliefs holding you back from what your reality should be? I want you to think through that and look at all of the examples where when you finally got your head out of your ass, the best one is relationships because everybody's done it, right? We've been in a relationship, wasted years of our life. So I'll give you an example. A married couple, I've heard this many times because I've met with so many homeowners selling their home. A married couple, husband and wife, and they've got a couple of kids. And when they have a really, really shitty marriage, the first thing they do, oh, we're staying together for the kids. Like that's what you actually want to teach your kids, that this is a normal relationship, right? We're staying together for the kids. Oh, it makes it so much easier for them. It makes it so much easier for us. Oh, we're just going to stay together until they turn 18 years old. Once they're 18 and they get off to college, then we're going to separate. Like you're actually helping by teaching them that. Well, let's go to the extreme here. Let's say the mother is very abusive, and every single time the husband says something, the mom slaps the husband in the face. What do you think that son is going to do when he grows up? He's going to look for an abusive relationship because that means love in my household, right? So we believe this stuff. And then when you get away and you get in a better relationship and things are normal and you can see real love, real family, real success, real ambition, all of those things, you're like, what in the world was I thinking back then? Do you know how many agents I've had to clean out their head on for sale by owners, on luxury homeowners, on how it works in my area, on average of 5% commission in my area. And they've lived in this misery for years. Every time they rarely get an appointment. When they get an appointment, they go, oh, everybody gets 5%. I'm just going to try to get 5. They beat me up a little bit, but I almost got 5. And you got all this abusive stuff you're doing to yourself. But then once I can get you to go out and actually get a 7.5% or a 7% commission, I always keep these closings that I'm doing, the cash offer deals. I always keep the closing statements right here because every time I have a meeting, I got to show them. Here's last month. Here's this month. Here's 18% commission. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You can't do that in your area. Well, here's one I just closed in your city. So what are you talking about? I think you believe your own bullshit. We have to fix that mindset. The stupid thoughts we have between our ears is what's really holding us back. It's not an NAR lawsuit. It's not that you don't have any money. It's not that you're dealing with debt problems. It's not that the other agents have so much money to spend on advertising and you can't compete with them. Well, how are the other 95% of the transactions in your area getting closed? It ain't with that guy. If he spends $1 million, he's not getting 95, 97% of the transactions in your area. So I think you might be believing your own bullshit. Let's get that fixed up. Tomorrow is our last daily meeting with the shaky camera and the Zoom recording and all of that stuff. We're going to a weekly model where I'm going to be giving you a lot more value, better quality content, better video quality, lots of resources, access to things that you can utilize to help you in growing your business. Do not miss Tuesday, November 7th. Have you ever heard me tell you to show up for something as big as I am for this? You probably ought to be there. People will be talking about it for a long, long time to come. If you're on my email list, you're automatically going to get the link. If you're not on my email list, go to gregsfreetraining.com. Check out the video description below. A whole bunch of links down there for you too. But let's get you making a lot more money. Here's my question for you. Do you know somebody in the real estate business outside of yourself that has stinking thinking, that has something stuck between their ears that's really holding them back, that if they stop believing their own bullshit, they do better? Hit the little arrow thing here and share this with them, or copy and paste up in the top. Just copy and paste the browser bar window and email it over to them. They might need to see this too. Let's try and make a big ding in the world where we can help agents to get out of their own way and start making a lot more money. I'm Greg Luther. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.